Now I'll be passing the mic on to Etie Favor to tell us the topic for the group presentation and to also introduce the topic to us.
All right, good evening, Ma. Good evening, everyone. My name is Favor Etie, and I and my team members, we are presenting a topic on fear, the causes of fear and overcoming fear. All right. First of all, I want to start with the definition of fear. Fear is an unpleasant emotion that is caused by a threat to danger, a threat to harm, a threat to pain. All right. Now, the truth is that a lot of things that we are scared of, it says that 92% of the things that we're scared of never happens or may never happen as severely as we thought they would. I want us to look at the acronym what fear. Fear is an acronym word, right? And I want us to take note of this. First of all, the F word for fear stands for false. Then the E word stands for evidence. Then the A word stands for appearance, and then the R word stands for um, real. Sorry. So fear is false evidence appearing real. All right. Now, very quickly, I want to talk about the various types of fear. There are basically three types of fear. Okay, you have the rational fear. Now, this is a real fear that happens to us, that is a real threat to imminent threat to us, right? Examples: when someone is pointing a gun at you or a knife at you to stab you, right? Then another type of fear is primal fear, right? These are natural fears. This is the kind of fear that is innate within us, if I can use that word. This is the kind of fear that is programmed into our brains. All right, example of such, and you have the claustrophobia, right? Another term for fear is phobia, by the way. Okay, so you have the claustrophobia. Now, this is the kind of fear that an individual faces when they're in tight enclosures. All right, then you have the acrophobia, right? Fear of falling. Then you have the elevatophobia, fear of elevators. Then you have the arachnophobia, fear of spiders, fear of arachnids. And it is estimated that 1 in 3 women have this kind of fear, and then 1 in 4 men have this kind of fear. Then last but not the least, because there are several phobias, then you have the agoraphobia, right? This is the fear of crowded, or public spaces. All right. Then I want us to note this, and I want us to understand that we need to understand that fear is not a good thing. We need to have this understanding. So I want to pass the mic right now to Bella, who will take on the various causes of fear. Thank you. Hello, Bella.
Network. Okay, so before they join us again, let's the next person. Let the next person go on.
Okay.
Who is supposed to go after Bella?
All right, Bella is not around. Okay, let me continue. All right, so after Bella is Bella on?
Who is supposed to go after Bella?
Myself. Okay. So pending when Bella will come on. All right, so I'm going to talk about the causes, of this. Yeah, there are some causes of fear. And I want us to look at this. First of all, you have fear of the other causes of fear, you have sorry, pardon me, you have someone help me out. All right, let me just hand over to Theophilus, right? So Theophilus, please. Theophilus.
I think Theophilus also is having issue with his network. So the person who's supposed to go after Theophilus, can you take over?
All right. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Favor. That was an amazing introduction. And so we'll just be talking about various causes of fear. Like we say from the definition, we said fear is false evidence appearing real. So one of the reasons why people are afraid most time is, our emotions. Our emotions are one of the reasons why, we get to be afraid. Fear is an emotional thing. Most times it's deep-seated within us. It's not something that is outside. It's not something that is, tangible. It's always a voice within our head, maybe telling us, you are not enough. You are not enough to do this. You can't execute this task. You can't carry out something, or maybe, just any kind of emotion. And these emotions can come from a number of things. Your environment can be a factor in causing you to be afraid. Most of the times when you come across certain kind of information, maybe that is not palatable to you as an individual, it can go deep down and create a sensation within you that, elicits this feeling of fear. So our emotions are one of the major reasons why, and we get to be afraid in life. We get to exhibit these various kinds of fears. Like, she said, for example, somebody, like now, we are talking about public speaking. We are here for a live video challenge. And glossophobia is one of, is the fear of public speaking. And now, why would somebody be afraid to come out, to speak to the audience? Why would somebody be afraid to come to interact with human beings? Because she possesses, when you are standing, you are thinking that your audience wants to eat you up. You are thinking that maybe you are not capable of speaking. You are thinking that you are not able to communicate your message the way you should. And so when you consider all these things, you see that it is actually an emotional thing, and that's what qualifies fear to be what? False evidence appearing real. Another thing that can elicit fear is from the information you take into your system. We are living in the social media age, and when we talk about depression, we talk about a lot of things happening right now in the world. You see that most of the things that happen is as a result of fear, and this is from the information that we receive. From the things we read. By the time you go online and maybe see something that is scary, that's something that does not help your growth, you begin to get afraid. For example, now online, some persons are trying to find their feet, some persons are trying to chart their career, some persons are trying to find a way, and then they go online and maybe read all sorts of news that does not encourage them. It can elicit that fear of, am I enough? Am I strong enough? Can I do this? Can I ever become this? Can I hit this goal? Can I attain this goal? And so you see that the wrong information can also be one of the causes of fear. And this is something that we should really look into, because now we're living in the social media age, and we're living in the information age. And so there is a lot of information, information overload. And so if somebody does not guard his heart, or maybe does not, direct how he should, what he allows into his being, see that most of the times the thing we read, the things we see, can be another, reason for, can be a cause of fear. The third, but not the least, because there are various kinds of fears, but principally, when you talk about fear, you should know that it's an emotional thing, and it is what you let within you. It is what you let inside. It is what you allow within your system, that, projects itself out there as fear. Your association, most times, maybe being in the wrong environment, being in the wrong place, all these things, constitute, causes of fear. Without wasting time, I'll go straight to the next topic, which is, how to overcome fear. It's not enough to know what fear is. It's not enough to know the various kinds of fears, or maybe to know the causes of fear. I believe that we've done justice to that first part, but then knowing how to overcome fear is one of the takeaways we want everybody to go away from this presentation. How to overcome fear, these various kinds of fears that we've talked about now, and knowing these causes of fear, how can we go ahead to overcome them in life? First of all, I'm a preacher, so I will just come in a bit from the religious standpoint, and then conclude with our normal everyday life experiences. So when we talk about fear, it's interesting because when I was preparing for this, the Bible says that the word fear, fear not rather, appears in the Bible 365 times. And we have 365 days. So for every day of the year, God says, fear not. And so you see that it's actually a big deal, because God places a lot of emphasis on that word, fear not, to show that what fear is a normal thing with human beings. Fear is something that every person, every normal human being is based. But here is the thing: when God says fear not, He's not trying to say that we're not going to, have fearful moments, at any point in time. He's not trying to say that fear will not exist. Of course, Jesus Christ said, that offenses will surely exist. So as long as we're human beings, fear is something that is normal to us human beings. But God is saying that in as much as we, encounter these fears, whatever fear it is that we face, we should choose what not to fear. And there is one word that, is appropriate for this word, fear not, and that is what? Courage. And so having courage is one of the practical ways anybody can overcome fear as an individual. Courage is trusting God when it does not make sense to trust God. Courage means a lot of things. And one of my favorite quotes is from Nelson Mandela. He said something: courage is not the absence of fear, but rather it is the triumph over it. You have to acknowledge that fear is something that everybody has to deal with at every point in time. But then how do you overcome it? It is by possessing this skill called courage. And unfortunately, as human beings, we know that courage is not something that is given to, naturally to any man. And when we read the account of Caleb and the spies who went into the land of Canaan, you see that all of them exhibited fears. Caleb was afraid when he was talking about trusting God, but because he chose not to fear, he believed in God, he trusted God. So how do we get courage? Courage, first of all, starts from having the right information, and the right information is from the Word of God. Whether you saturate your mind. Remember, we're talking about our emotion, and information are part of the things that elicit our emotion. So how to counter this false evidence appearing real in your life is by possessing the right information. The Word of God is the very practical ways you can build up courage. Listening to the right messages now with your environment, what you hear, what you listen to, the books you read to. So in these ways, it can help to build up for your courage. So that is your hand over to Elfia to come from there now. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. You've spoken very well. Thank you, Favor. All right, in conclusion to all what we've said, everybody experiences fear. It's not specific to one person. You might actually be feeling that this thing. Just know that it is normal for everyone to experience fear. It's a normal reaction from our body trying to prevent us from experiencing failure or experiencing any form of harm. However, it is our response to this reaction of fear that either makes it manageable or overwhelming. Learning about your fear is actually a step to overcoming that fear. Like someone told me once, it is okay to embrace your anxiety, because when you embrace your anxiety, it shows that you acknowledge that you are afraid of something, and it will help you to work towards overcoming that fear. knowing about your trigger points will help you to conscious. You could be scared. I can use myself, for example, I was supposed to have an interview. I was so scared about it. But doing some researches, going on YouTube to do some research about people that have gone through the process before, I became less fearful. I knew what researches to go for. I knew the ideas that I needed to have to be able to overcome that interview. And the fear in me actually reduced to an extent, and I was more knowledgeable of what I was supposed to do. You can also be scared of flying. You can be scared of getting on a plane. But merely doing your researches, going and speaking to those who have experienced the process before, they could give you tricks, they could give you tips to overcome that fear. You could be even scared of public speaking, like my colleague has said. But merely speaking in front of your phone even can push you to speak up, even in little gatherings. Gradually, you've overcome that fear. Not doing anything about fear actually can have psychological effects on you. You'll notice that people that are ruled by fear, they do not live up to their expectations. Even they are not satisfied by their lives, even to themselves. They experience so much anxiety that they cannot try anything new or even achieve anything. It could even be a problem to them in their workplace. But when they live a life where their minds control their emotion and not their emotion controlling their mind, they discover that they can grow a lot of courage, that they can push themselves forward to do something about the fear they experience. So today, I would love to urge every one of us here to do something about that fear we experience, because at a point in time, it is going to come and we're going to experience it. So it is very paramount that we do something about it. We should push ourselves forward to overcome that fear. And we can actually be like some of us that are here today, trying to overcome a fear of public speaking, and are here in this video challenge today, and we have pushed ourselves forward and we are overcoming that fear. We can actually get there, we can breathe in, breathe out, and tell ourselves that what actually the worst that can happen, and we can go in and do our best and come out and we'll see that we've.
Okay, I think she's having an issue with the network. So that's a wrap, yeah? So quickly,